I'm not sure if you guys have seen this, but 4,400 patients have filed lawsuits, and that number continues to climb. These lawsuits allege harm ranging from sudden vision loss to severe and, in some cases, life-threatening gastrointestinal issues. Check out this clip.
A panel of judges just made a major decision about vision loss lawsuits involving popular weight loss and diabetes drugs.
Our 13 Investigation reporter Sarah Putman joining us live in studio. She's been staying on this issue, and she first told us about this potential side effect just earlier this month.
And then that's when I reported that dozens of attorneys had filed vision loss lawsuits, and more are likely coming now that this panel of judges says that these cases can be consolidated into an MDL or multi-district litigation.
These vision loss lawsuits are scary, but this isn't the first time the creators of GLP-1 weight loss drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy have been sued for extremely detrimental severe side effects. Thousands of individuals have filed lawsuits in 2025 claiming a long list of debilitating conditions not adequately listed on the warning labels. And this is one of them.
Juanita Gantt struggled with her weight. At age 62, she weighed 242 pounds. Yet the most she could lose trying various diets, she says, was about 20 pounds.
I almost felt defeated and humiliated. I mean, why couldn't I lose this weight?
Then she saw ads for drugs, including Ozempic.
Ozempic.
Her doctor agreed that because of her diabetes risk, she was a good candidate for one of those drugs and prescribed her Wegovy and later Ozempic, both GLP-1 drugs made by Novo Nordisk. But several months later, in October 2023, Gantt's husband found her on the floor unconscious. This photo was taken by her daughter, a nurse at the hospital where Gantt was taken.
I had no idea what had happened to me.
Doctors found parts of her large intestine had died. It had to be removed. Then, while recovering from surgery, she went into cardiac arrest, prompting the hospital to call her daughter to warn her her mother could die.
I had no warning that this was even a possibility.
She's now suing drug maker Novo Nordisk, claiming its drug labels do not adequately warn patients and doctors about potentially serious side effects, including gastroparesis or stomach paralysis and bowel obstruction. Gantt says she wants others to know about her experience.
This should not have happened to me. It just should not have happened to me. If it happened to me, it could happen to you.
And so to talk about all of this today, I've got my nutrition specialist, the expert, Kim Bright from Brightcore, and she's going to talk about this stuff today with us. Kim, how you doing?
Hey, Barry, I'm doing great. You know, this is so terrible. I feel so horrible for Juanita, this lady, this nice lady. I mean, part of her large intestine actually died, which almost would have resulted in her death. She was very, very, lucky that that didn't happen. But Barry, what makes me feel even more sad is that this is only one of many stories. And these lawsuits are popping up, like you talked about, left and right, and are primarily around these medical conditions where people are losing their vision. And it's a sudden loss of vision due to optic nerve damage from these drugs, stomach paralysis, where the stomach stops moving the food efficiently, leading to the persistent vomiting and hospitalization then. And then, of course, intestinal obstructions. These are potentially life-threatening blockages in your digestive tract.
We all want to lose weight. We think there's this magic pill out there. And so these people glom to these things because they think this is going to be the panacea, the thing that solves a big riddle. But at what cost do we have to spend for people to realize there's no easy pill for this?
No, there is not an easy pill. There's, it's common sense.
Yeah. And it doesn't end there. Take a look at this study as well. So, Kim, what does that study say and what does it mean?
Well, Barry, this recent study shows that people that are using the GLP-1 drugs are suffering from hair loss, both men and women. But it was even worse for women. I'm 71 now, and I still have a full head of natural hair. There's no extensions here, nothing. This is all natural. And I sure as heck don't want to lose it. And, they're very attracted to a quick fix. It's very appealing to people. But turning to prescription drugs, just think about it, people, the dire consequences that those bring with them. I mean, I've been helping people with their health for so long now, over 50 years. And I do understand the dangers of a quick fix. I've seen it with some people. A quick fix, is kind of like a get rich quick scheme. You're never going to actually get rich, Barry. And guess what? You never actually get healthy when you turn to dangerous drugs. And remember, these pharmaceutical companies, what they're looking for is to make a profit. They're not all that interested in how you're going to feel or what is going to happen to you. They're not looking out for your best interests.
The old saying goes, and it applies here, if it's too good to be true, it usually is too good to be true. And of course, they're only interested in profit. This is what RFK Jr. had to say about Novo Nordisk, the largest GLP-1 pharmaceutical company in the world.
Kennedy Jr. participated in a roundtable this week where the conversation focused on America's chronic illness crisis. In his speech, he blasted Americans' unhealthy lifestyles, exacerbated by our foods, by Big Pharma, and by our Congress, now over 100 members of whom have received funding from Nordic drug Ozempic. Here's a clip from the roundtable discussion. Let's watch.
And there's a push to recommend Ozempic for Americans as young as 6. Over a condition, obesity, that is completely preventable and barely even existed 100 years ago. Since 74% of Americans are obese, the cost of all of them, if they take their Ozempic prescriptions, will be $3 trillion a year. This is a drug that has made Novo Nordisk the biggest company in Europe. It's a Danish company, but the Danish government does not recommend it. It recommends a change in diet to treat obesity and exercise.
All right, Kim, what's that all about?
Well, your gut health has a big impact on your thyroid, your weight, and how fast your body is going to burn energy. And the good bacteria that's in your gut will help your body use thyroid hormones in the right way, will absorb important nutrients, and definitely controls inflammation. And when your gut gets out of balance, what happens is your metabolism slows down. Mm-hmm. Then you store more fat, and it's harder to lose the weight. But when your gut bacteria are healthy and balanced, they keep your body burning that energy better. They manage the weight more easily, and your metabolism is running so much smoother.
Mm-hmm. And as we get older, our metabolism even slows down as well. So it's something that we have to take advantage of and understand completely, because you got to do something about that, or that metabolism slows down, you gain more weight. So in your 50 years of experience helping people with issues like this, what would you recommend people to do if they want to avoid the dangers of GLP-1 drugs, other than not taking them at all?
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, having dealt with so many people I've counseled over the years, I've discovered that if you can make just one change, if you're willing to do one change to your diet, it can make a world of difference. And that one change is to consume the centuries-old food kimchi. It is the best thing you can do for the health of your gut microbiome.
And I don't know if you guys have seen this and you know what he looks like, but look at what RFK Jr. did. So, Kim, this is pretty incredible. Tell me about the carnivore diet and what he's done with kimchi.
Well, I think it's pretty incredible. If you, are losing 20 pounds in 20 days, RFK Jr. lost that eating only meat and fermented foods like kimchi. Mm-hmm. And not only, Barry, did he lose 20 pounds in 20 days, he also says that he gained mental clarity as a result of the diet. That's wonderful. And, I even heard from a friend that he carries a jar of kimchi with him when he goes out to restaurants. Let me tell you why kimchi plays such a big role in his diet, Barry. Kimchi contains 900 plus strains of unique beneficial bacteria. Now, sauerkraut only contains 28. Huge difference. Mm. And yogurt typically only has several strains.
Can you explain why kimchi has played such a significant role in his rapid weight loss?
Well, a lot of people don't know this, but there was a study done that showed that people who are obese are missing a couple of crucial probiotics within their gut that people within a healthy weight range possess. And having these specific strains in your gut can make all the difference between being obese or being skinny. And guess what? Kimchi has these probiotic strains. And that's why recent studies show how effective eating kimchi really is. So I think that's the source there for him.
I want to show this graphic to everybody again because it really is kind of mind-blowing. And in this graphic, it says kimchi diet reduces body fat by 30, almost 32%. 32% in a preclinical study. How is that even possible?
Because when people get these beneficial strains of bacteria into their system, into their gut, they're naturally going to achieve their body weight goals. This is how important our gut health is. This is how important those strains of bacteria are to keep your gut healthy. And this is just one of many recent studies, Barry, that show the same thing. When people consume kimchi, they achieve lower body mass index, BMI, reduced abdominal fat, and that includes the terrible visceral fat. That's going to melt away. And now you're getting smaller waistlines, more regularity, which results in less constipation and bloating.
Why isn't this, why did it take RFK Jr.? Why has this been so suppressed in terms of this information? Is it because of the food companies and their desire to keep people, unhealthy? But it seems like this is information that everybody should be talking about. And before you answer that, I want you guys to watch this because it supports everything that Kim has just said.
Here in Hawaii, kimchi, it's a local favorite, and now a new study gives us even more reason to like kimchi. A recently published report in South Korea found that people who ate moderate amounts of kimchi daily are at a lower risk for developing obesity. The report found that Korean men who consumed 1 to 3 servings of kimchi a day are less likely to develop obesity than those who ate less than a serving per day. So there you go, pound down the kimchi.
And I want to go back to the point of extreme mental clarity as well. Why do you think that RFK Jr. experienced such a cognitive change from this diet that he's on? And as I said earlier, why has this been suppressed from, the widespread media?
Well, let's answer that first. I think that it's been suppressed because pharmaceutical companies don't want you to be well, really. They want you to continue to take drugs. They wouldn't advertise that. And the people that are trained, in doctoring, they didn't know it. They weren't trained in it, so they're not going to explain that to you. And of course, the pharmaceutical companies, they just want to continue you on drugs. So it's been suppressed for a reason. And the people that make the bad food, of course, don't want you to eat good food. So it's all together, they've been all together. But let's get back to the cognitive aspect of it, why he gained that as well. The gut-brain axis think of it as a highway between your gut and your brain. And it's going to involve the nerves like the vagus nerve, hormones and immune signals, where those immune signals are constantly sending messages affecting your mood, your digestion, your stress, and your cognitive function. Now, with gut microbes playing a significant role in this crosstalk, you get a great result. Think of your gut as a second brain. And that's actually talking to your actual brain. It's going to influence everything from anxiety to appetite. And Barry, so often doctors, when they target brain disease, they're going to prescribe medications in an effort to directly target the brain. That's treating the symptom. They don't treat the root cause. They treat symptoms instead of curing the problem. And here's another thing. Your happy hormone is called serotonin, and it's also a neurotransmitter. 90% of that is produced in your gut. And that is what's responsible for regulating anxiety and depression. So if your gut's not healthy, you're not going to produce the happy hormone, the serotonin. And there's just a ton of reasons why kimchi played such a substantial role in his mental clarity.
Kim, we have so much to talk about because, I've got a big monitor in front of me and I'm seeing news that's coming out. It seems like there's so much information about Maha. You must be extremely busy trying to keep up with everything. And now they're talking about everything you've talked about with me for a year. We're actually seeing it play out on the news right now. Now the big thing is he's going after processed foods. So the next, I don't know what we got in store for the next interview, but it just seems like maybe we can talk even more because it just keeps happening. And I've never seen this much news about health in years. It's amazing. It seems like every other day there's something else that I can get you on to talk about.
It's so exciting. I mean, I've been trying to teach this for 50 years.
Yeah.
And of course, now it took all these years to get to this point where we now have RFK Jr., and he's in a position where he can actually talk about it. So I'm thrilled. And, there's just so many health benefits from kimchi. And we wanted to make it easy for people to consume daily. And that's why we went ahead and created Kimchi One. And whether you like the taste of kimchi or not, it's something that is, it's not something that's easy to eat every day. Mm-hmm. But now with it being in a capsule, these convenient capsules are made for daily use. And we use a cold process drying methodology to retain all of the fiber and nutrition, because fiber is important to keep that gut health in play too. Low in sodium. It's, if you buy the kimchi in the store, or you make it yourself, it's going to be high in sodium.
Right.
So people on those restricted sodium diets, this is great for them. 100% made in the USA, non-GMO and all natural. And we have so many people that call in or write us about their success from taking Kimchi One. People that they weren't regular, they were constipated, they had problems with their digestion, they had all kinds of problems with their digestion, gas, bloating, people who had problems with their immune system and used to get sick all the time. They're not getting sick anymore, Barry. And people with diabetes, they could not control their blood sugar. Now that seems to have balanced out for them. And people with high blood pressure and cholesterol who couldn't find a way to get off their prescription drugs, guess what? They've been able to lower those. Some of them are off of them. I know the pharmaceutical companies don't want to hear that, but guess what? That's the truth. Even, there's people that have suffered from hair loss. They're now regrowing hair. Their hair's getting thicker. It's getting shinier. The guys are going to the barber. The barber's going, "What are you doing? I see new hair growth." Or the women are going to the beauty salons. "Well, I see new hair growth up here around your, up in here."
Did you notice?
And there's studies that show this as well.
Did you notice a couple days ago, or it may have been just like yesterday, they're now finding out that the chemicals that they're using and to put the hair extensions in might be, carcinogenic. They may be causing cancer just from those chemicals, which I always thought, because you walk into any beauty salon and it smells like you just walked into some sort of pharmaceutical lab because they're sticking all this stuff on people's heads. So that might be another use for kimchi, because these women may not be able to continue using hair extensions. It's absolutely crazy, the stuff that we're finding out on an almost daily basis. So do you have a special offer for the Fanfare family?
Yes, we want you all to grow beautiful, thick hair and have it, forever. And we want you to be healthy and get that gut healthy. So today, go to brightcore.com/Barry to get 25% off your order of Kimchi One using the code Barry, or call 888-418-6738 to get up to 50% off your order plus free shipping. And Barry, we're a small family-owned business, and so we like for people to call. We like to answer your questions. We want to make you feel comfortable that this is the right product for you. And the first 100 callers today are going to get a free bottle of Fortify with their order. Now, Fortify contains all 9 essential amino acids. They're going to protect you against cellular damage. They're going to help you retain muscle mass, which we all lose as we're aging. And especially you lose that muscle mass when you're rapidly losing weight. It also helps boost your hormone production and it supports brain chemistry. So remember, you can only get the best discounts and that free bottle of Fortify when you call in. And that number is 888-418-6738.
Well, Kim, like I said, so much to talk about, and I can't wait for the next interview. And you guys that want to learn more, again, call the number, and Kim and her staff would be happy to answer your questions. Kim, thanks again for coming on, taking a moment out of obviously busy day with everything going on.
Well, thanks for having me, Barry, and you stay healthy and eat your Kimchi One.
It will do.